Hello, every pony. It's time to clop off to another adventure. So, I did the last two replays, whenever the fuck that was, I have no idea. And I'm really, really tired, but I've been meaning to get these two down, assuming they're actually going to work. And we had a few to cast, and then there's some more recent ones I might cast as well. And I don't know, maybe one of these is worth casting. I think that Footman versus Grunts might actually be worth casting. I don't usually cast these other replays because typically they're not very interesting. But if I remember, the Footman versus Grunts is kind of stupid. So, I mean, most of these maps are stupid, let's be fair here. And the Swords and Scepters, we did cast it. Actually, apparently the author replied to the cast I did of that a while ago. Of course, the channel that these are being uploaded on is not my channel. But his comment was relayed to me. It was funny to see someone come out of the woodwork, so who knows how many years ago that was. Anyways, this will be the week after, it looks like. That's, well, technically 2 weeks after, because they leapfrog StarCraft 2, because, I don't know, for some reason, some people still play that shitty game. And, yeah, so 2 weeks after, but technically a week after, let's be honest here. Time travels really, really fast, and yet at the same time really slowly when you're old as dirt like I am. So, this is a TGS revised. It's the same version. Alright, so I don't remember anything about these, but apparently this one's also really short. So, yeah. So, attendance has definitely not been very stellar for a while for any of these groups, evidently, but if you hear me fucking around with my scissor stand, it's because the Loughton LS28 is substantially heavier than my other microphone. What the Hold on. Oh my god, what happened? Right. I turned on the new interface. I think I'm gonna turn it off because I can't minimize this garbage, can I? Let's see here. Good lord. Good fucking god. Yeah, this is hideous as fuck. Whoever thought this was a good idea? Right. Let's see if I can change that advanced observer mode. So people still have a profanity filter in some games for some reason. Yeah, you can't turn that off at all. There's zero customization whatsoever. Precisely what I would expect out of some garbage slapped in from fucking middleware 20 years ago. Alright, let's fix that. It'll be under here, just like, you know, they had the opportunity to get rid of these stupid menu sliding animations that people have bitched about since forever ago, like since it first came out, but they didn't for whatever reason. Please don't ask about this. It's not a good idea. I forgot which replays we were gonna cast now. I'm gonna have to go back and check again. Was it this one? 309? Because it was the footies, right? I think that's it. Yeah, it's everybody against Thigh Lolly. Okay. Hopefully and I think I switched to that because I thought, hey, maybe I'll be able to see like anything useful. Turns out, no, LMAO. Alright, let's check our teams here. We had yeah, music. I can't hear fucking anything, especially over this fan and over the traffic. It's a double whammy. We have his Zealot, we have Ricky Honajase, we have myself, we have Steak. We're up against HKS, Quantum Menace, and Thigh Loli. I think this game's gonna go very fast. So yeah, attendance definitely. We have a couple people that for some reason forget to sign in, like Bill the Emu and Zilla, that they're not doing anything more useful with their lives. They're just hiding from us. And that's not very good. So, I think that they have become too afraid of the wrath of the Frenchman. They're afraid of bagels and cheese crumbs being littered all over their faces, inseminating them. This map has historically been played with imbalanced teams on and off because of the attendance issues, but with the creep changes, it's actually really, really bad now. Because if 4 players are creeping on the map, it's pretty much impossible for the 3 players to win. Because even if they're not going like hyper-optimized builds, the reality is that most semi-conventional builds, like with damage or whatever, can at least assist each other. You're going to clear faster, you're going to level faster, the camps are going to respawn, the other enemy has to deal with the creep camps, and if they don't have equal bodies, then you have a really hard time dealing with it, because 4 is always going to clear faster than 3, and you're putting the 3 on the defense right away. You know, it's just pretty simple numbers, right? And then it pushes the upgrades too. So, one of the replays I may or may not cast from the recent times is, hint spoiler, it's a matchup kind of like this. 3 versus 4. And I mean, I'm pretty sure we're going to see that to some extent in this game here. I don't think Steak's going to be doing too much creeping, but it's still going to be some pressure. And yeah, I mean, you can't really easily balance around that. High Zealot suggested to give the if you end up with an uneven team, to give the uneven team an allied control hero that they could use, and that would kind of even it out. Now, I figured that wouldn't be a bad idea, but HKS says it's probably going to end up being really stupid, because you're going to end up with one person micromanaging 2 heroes and using them to force things down. And, I mean, I think there's arguments for both sides. It's hard for me to really to say, because I think micromanaging 2 heroes in Warcraft 3 is really awkward, but you don't need to be micromanaging them against heroes is the thing. You can just do precisely what I was talking about. Wouldn't that even it out against 4 players, though? I'm not sure. And Steak almost dies to Loli of all people. Yikes. Then again, Steak was doing kind of a weird build in this, so. Since this was basically like effectively years ago, I don't know anything about it. I don't remember anything about it. HKS has dark minions. I'm watching a bird shoot random shit. I think I was hoping to gank HKS by hiding behind there, but Ricky is an extremely eager Frenchman, and because you can't see my hero there unless you're paying attention. Every game is like this, where they're just sitting up here with no health, and it doesn't end in as many Frenchman kills as you might think. It's okay. We restored balance. Someone had to die. If it wasn't going to be HKS, it was going to be Ricky. Oh, I went incinerate. Okay, so High Zealot's doing the creeping, and Loli almost always does some kind of creeping in this with very mixed success. He just kind of does it, but whether or not he actually takes a build that's really good for it is kind of random. Now, the XP distribution, since it's kind of local, does not work like you think it does. You don't see a massive distribution on this team anymore, which means that they're actually getting out-leveled a lot, because the creeps give a fairly disproportionate amount of experience, especially if you can kill like the turtles and stuff early on. You will just fly ahead of the other team in creeps, which again is where the deficit can be an issue. Now, I think the waves will give you experience, but if you're getting pushed to the point that the wave creeps are giving you as much experience to catch you up, chances are it's because you're already at a huge disadvantage anyways. So, Steak is harassing the turtles here. You might be able to get a couple kills in. And he's gonna die. Yeah, he basically always takes soul burn, like almost always. In fact, I'm trying to think now, is there a game I've seen where he hasn't taken soul burn in the last like couple months? I'd be hard pressed to think otherwise. Maybe one of the earlier ones I casted, but I feel like just about every single game he takes soul burn because silence was removed because it's stupid. The really bad thing about slow burn is that it's just point and click. It's just one of those point and click abilities that just needs to be reworked amongst many other things. But Ricky might also die here, so we're seeing a big switch to dealing with creep camps at the moment. But we are seeing generally speaking, this is about the time where it's going to start turning around. So, and then on the right side, it's a little bit of work down here. I don't feel like lesser or dark minions are going to help until they're higher level. They want to probably at least like level 3 before you really use them a lot here. But since he has an extra body with him, it's not too big of an issue. Definitely getting those lag spikes all over the place. By the way, Steak also gets those lag spikes, so it's not just me. It's something that Blizzard fucked up. Because why would you quote-unquote remaster a product that didn't need to be remastered if it wasn't A, to fuck it up, or B, to fuck it up? So, turtles have arrived. They're going to force down these towers in short order. Towers mean very little in TGS. They didn't really mean too much the first time around, except for when you could put Magic Sentry on them. But that was not really a very major thing anyways. Not many people really benefited a lot from it early on. Plus, it was a lot of gold early on. Mucky had some input from the last video where he said that one of the things he kind of wanted to do with this map was have effectively like 2 separate resources so that you could get a resource basically off of being successful that was put into creep upgrades that wasn't gold, so that you weren't splitting up the gold either way. So basically keeping in the old creep upgrade system, but because lumber was already used and Warcraft 3 is an incredibly hard-coded piece of shit, there wasn't a clear way to really do that when he was still working in this. So that's kind of like the Lowlands of Legend system, except the Lowlands of Legend one was still timed. Well, it was going to come off of creep heroes, or hero kills and creep objectives as well. That was obviously never implemented, but it was a global resource for the whole team as opposed to an individual resource. So I definitely like the division system in Lowlands of Legend. It had a lot of potential. Obviously, Lowlands of Legend itself would not function, especially in Warcraft 3. But it was silly while it lasted and offered some ideas, some concepts, but similar challenges with the items. As of course, the other problem is that there really shouldn't, like, the tiny barracks is, like, the reconstructing of the buildings is like a boilerplate, because there was so much garbage, like the Divine Shields and Volcano and Death and Decay and all this complete and utter nonsense, where you would just erase the buildings and then that would just be the end of the game. And there was very little anything anybody could do about it, because you could hide in a million different places, which for the most part have been plugged, but there might still be the odd one, but it's not really relevant anymore. And yeah, it was just dumb. It's like, oh, I have to have 2 players on my team hanging out trying to kill someone who's going to cast fucking Earthquake and deal like 10% of a building's health every tick, because that's cool and fun. And or I have to take sleep to stop somebody from using Divine Shield and smashing the buildings down, because Divine Shield lasts like 10 minutes. So basically problems were created to try to boilerplate problems instead of... Can't boilerplate that, I'm afraid. Too French. And yeah, it just created a whole bunch of problems that now we had to kind of tone all of them back. But now we have the tiny barracks, which of course, as I mentioned many times, one of the win conditions on the map is to deplete the enemy's resources. You can't do that when they've got lands flooding into their base all the time. So now we're in a bit of a better spot with the creeps, because them plus the demolish upgrade helps. But the tiny barracks is still like only 2,000 gold. So later on in the game, when you've got full build and there's no other gold sinks at all, You can just keep buying it, but it feels a little better now because it's really, really hard to stop a snowball due to the creep camps as long as they keep clearing the creep camps, and because you can get the Erdl too. It's really, really hard to stop the snowball at that stage in the game. You know, we'll probably see it a couple of times if I actually catch up to all of these replays, but I mean, some of those are within balanced teams as well, but there's one or two replays here I wanted to cast that kind of shows the map flow slightly non-standard, at least compared to what we were used to because of the changes. Now, Steak is over here fisting some boners. Ricky Hona Jesse is trying to clear these, but it's kind of tough to clear these as a caster early on. You want to have more than 2 damage spells because they're going to out-sustain you, and even if they only take glancing damage to you, they hit pretty hard. I have a drink here. It is not coffee, it is cappuccino. My grandmother tried to buy her own dry coffee creamer off of Amazon and somehow ended up with a bunch of cappuccino instead. So I've been drinking... I'm pretty sure in one of these replays, Thylolly dies more times to creeps than any other player combined in the game dies to anything. And Ricky also likes to die to minions. He just kept trying to do it, and you know what? He never killed any of the little ones except for just the one tiny one. I figured, nah, he's not going to keep doing it. Obviously, it's going... Nah, he killed himself anyways. So, otherwise, yeah, I think the map is generally in a better state than it was. I think that one of the things that really stands out to me at this point is that there needs to be, like, more abilities. But what those abilities should be, and, again, how much time you really want to put into them, is, and... You just kind of watched him die. Look at that fucking face, though. Holy shit. And meanwhile, I'm doing my own clearing here. And yeah, it's like there needs to be abilities that are not just stuns and slows and steroids. And then the other thing that made me think about is like end-game gold distribution and what the tiny barracks. What can be done about that? If it should be more expensive, it should be changed at all. Doesn't need to be changed at all with the current state of the game, man. Just fucking ate my rifleman. And, yeah, don't try to tank these. They do actually attack pretty fast. So, they're not really doing hardly any clearing. They're trying to, but people are dying. Steak might die here next as well. The next challenger has arrived. The pandas are biting. Ricky Honajase has arrived. Haven't even killed our own hydras. Ah, Ricky's gonna die terribly. Here it is. Ricky could have gone over here and teleported away. He probably actually would have gotten away too, but he just made sure he died instead. Now all they did was help them kill the hydras. It's goofy. So, like a lot of the mainstay spells that we used to see are no longer nearly as good as they were. Infernal, Berserk, Critical, Bash, Stormbolt, right? So now we're kind of at the stage where maybe some other kind of utility should be added, like a multi-shot for ranged characters. That's sometimes something you sometimes see. You know. And and maybe like on-hit shit that isn't orb based. Meanwhile, I remember this game because High Zealot is in his own little world. So I was buying Anks of Reincarnation because you can still buy those. Reincarnation was removed because, well, it was kind of stupid and literally everybody would get it. And Q makes his appearance known and then dispatches himself and leaves. And Ricky Honojase exists. There is a bird. It exploded. Yes, I remember this game. So this game is slightly different. This is one of the games where High Zealot was trying out Erdl killing builds. And it doesn't devour anymore because that will just crash the game because the AI would try to devour buildings even though it shouldn't have been able to, and Warcraft 3 is well programmed. And our Hydras are still untouched. We killed the Erdl before we ever got any Hydra kills. And Q tries to be cute here, but in reality, he's going to get shot. I let Ricky Honojase go forward. Ricky Honojase is generally the better target. After all, he is French. But Q has already left. As you can see, I've acquired another Ank of Reincarnation. I might have given Ricky my gold. Yeah, I did. I didn't have that much. So, Earl has not spawned yet. But the enemy team has done better than we have for creeps at this stage because of that bungled steel up top. But overall, they're fucked. And Ricky is also fucked. So all three of them are going to charge over here, but nobody's over there. Nobody's going to touch our Hydras. The Erdl is coming. Now, commonly what people will do is just drag the Erdl into the back of the base, where these towers will kill it. It's not as hard to kill as it was initially, but melee characters can very easily tank it down and kill it. Earlier, or rather later on in the game, because of stuff like spike barricades, reduces its damage to basically uselessness. And even with rudimentary sustain, they can easily kill it. I mean, you can see it's taking a lot of damage right now. So I'm shooting HKS. HKS is shooting me. I took a lot of damage from something, and HKS didn't micro his dark minions, so I left. The Hydras almost killed me. The Boner possibly could have killed me. So only the Erdl is left at this point. It's taking a fair bit of damage. It has some health steal, but the minions will be tickling it down. And for some reason, Thought Lily has run over there with no health. I really wanted him, but I only had the innate Windwalk and not really the good one. So I kind of stood there and waited to see if he'd show up again. Thought Lily has very little environmental awareness or self-preservation. So, but even then, the gigantic turtle did frighten him. I'm still running around with 0 health. I didn't really care that much because I had the Ank of Reincarnation. Meanwhile, we have turtles in the middle that are just destroying everything because, well, they are pretty strong when there's no one there to defend, and the minions waves are not that big. So if they put damage on the towers, chaos damage, they go down pretty quickly. Q's trying his darndest. I think I just eventually left. I was looking for my thing, but I think that was from the departure, not the cast. Steak is over here doing something. The Earl hasn't really done too much yet, but Ricky Honojase has arrived. Unbelievably French. Has to get those 2 kills in. And away the turtle goes. Over there somewhere. TGS is taking it on a little journey. Meanwhile, these turtles have destroyed the bear axe. And Thought Lolly manages to just barely escape. Just barely. So they're working on the turtle. It hasn't done too much yet. But it has kept them busy. So the other turtles are slowly menacing their posteriors. And the mortar teams are actually shooting a building as opposed to shooting at the minions for a change. So, the turtle finally goes down. And the bestiality almost dies with 200 health. I have the Anka reincarnation, but I'd be sure to go back just to make sure Q has easy access to Ricky. Which he does, so the exchange is made. The pact is sealed. And I carry on my merry way. And that Earl was very angry because I think High Zealot was trying to kill it. But the minions may have died in middle and it got reset. Yeah, so it's very mad because High Zealot's debuff is still on it. So it's trying to go over to him. I wasn't really sure what was going on until I noticed the debuff. It's very mad. So hypothetically, someone can come and snipe that Erdl because it's quite low and running around. Which could be bad news for us. But we're pushed pretty much everywhere else on the map, so... The Erdl is still angry because this debuff apparently lasts like 8 years. And now the Horde minions have come over to fight the Erdl. And the Murlocs. HKS has come down here to clear out the small turtles. The middle has pushed back. And we finally come over here to deal with the Hydras that Ricky has gorged with his blood. As the other Erdl is being killed by a Bat Rider. But has restored a fair amount of health at this point. Holy shit, is that Scroll of Protection? Wowee. Golly. Some turtles and Deep Lord Revenants are spinning. Ricky Hodajase almost gets Deep Lord Revenanted, but I came down to save his worthless French posterior as the enemy team takes out the random tentacle monsters down here, collects their tentacles and uses them as sausages for their fish pie. And at this point, this turtle is still running around very angrily. And a large chunk of our minions are not moving. All of their hard work on our side of the map has become part of the local Juggalo convention instead. And we're just going to counter jungle right here because there's not much pressure on the map, but they're not over here, so... I'm dying. High Zealot has a bird on us. We don't really have any tanking ability, so tanking of the Hydras is probably not going to happen. Their middle is still dead, so that's spawning the higher level units. Ricky escapes. Q really wants me, but I'm gonna die. Except I have the Ankh of Reincarnation. He still wants me. But he got birded. And I thought Loli has appeared. Infernal went over there somewhere. And the Hawk kills someone else. So most of the enemy team just died for the silliest of reasons. Ricky attempts to max out something. is High Zealot buys a bunch of auras. But more importantly is that I have Endurance Aura and True Shot Aura. These Hydras are not the... Oh, there is an Elder Hydra there. His stats are not very high, but he is still there. Those are pretty dangerous, and they are going to attack disgustingly fast. They're actually more dangerous than the Erdl is in this particular instance, because so long as there are minions that they're going to try to devour, they'll just kind of machine gun everything down out of range. And including heroes, if they're not that tanky. The problem with the Hydras is they like to devour things, and yeah, it's not very useful. So I just bought another Ankh of Reincarnation before I came over here, so have to be a little careful though, because he just waits for his cooldowns and then kills me a second time. So I guess I was just gonna leave. But the Hydras would benefit from my aura, but not too big of a deal at the moment. It depends if they ignore them for a while or not. Presently, the turtles went down in the middle and started bashing all that in, so they're kind of worried about that too. They can probably deal with this though, but one of them is down here getting murdered. Bird! Annihilated. So, the turtles have not been dragged into the fountain. They're getting stuck in everything else. That Lully is ignoring the ones that are killing his base at the moment. But he's putting his heart into it. And they died. Meanwhile, the Hydras in the top lane were annihilating all their buildings up there too, so... Yeah, snowball effect. They just didn't have the bodies to deal with it. One person was trying to do jungling. The rest of them were getting fucking destroyed. So, let's check out the second game. So, the second game is myself, Ricky, Q, versus High Zealot, H-Kiss, Thigh Lully, and Steak. So here's another 3 versus 4, and I believe I know how this one goes. This one's actually really depressing. So I'm hugging Q here, hoping that he sends me to a holy path. I have to wonder if this is a meme game. There is a game where I do something really stupid and it almost works. That might be this game. I thought it was a game after this, but it could be this one. :P. Oh god, it is this game! Alright, so you guys remember Illidan, right? Illidan is always on the hunt for demons, because Demon Bussy is the only Bussy that he can bus. And also he makes trees. So the original author for this map decided that the unique ability for Illidan, the winged Illidan, who drank the semen of Gul'dan, think of our traditions, should have an innate ability that spawns trees, and the trees throw arrows. They throw arrows. That's what they do. Now, these trees were absolutely and completely and utterly worthless until HKS made innate abilities scale with level. So they're still pretty useless, but you never know. They just might troll Thigh Lully. Ha! He thinks he can fight me. What a chump. Little does he realize, I have wards that deal 11 to 13 damage and trees that deal 8 to 18 damage. Sweet 18. That's old enough to become president of Canada. What can a cow do but graze aggressively in their general direction and accept defeat when faced with such horrors, such madness? Thaloli is not but a babe lost in the woods. Illidan's hard, dead woods. They're also apparently carrion beetles, but don't tell anybody that. That's a secret best left unknown. For some reason, Thaloli has carrion swarm. He feels like he would like to burn all of his mana on me, but little does he realize that I will just continue to create wards because I have Brilliance Aura. And I will also continue to make trees. That said, I won't really get any guild for the effort. But I do get sass points because he runs out of mana, and he can't milk himself fast enough to replenish it. Absolutely disgusting. Also, the minions are killing me. Unlike wards, the trees have a tiny amount of health and won't die instantly when things attack them, just near instantly. Which means they can tank for wards for like 5 seconds. I also have Acid Bomb. Now, this is important in the context of the game we just watched. Remember what High Zealot did. I knew that in a 3 versus 4, we were probably fucked, especially if the enemy team had High Zealot and HKS in it. Because they were both probably going to be spamming creeps non-stop. And Stake was going to at least be a troll, and Thaloli was probably going to do nothing but spam Soul Burn on me anytime I got near him. So, I had to play the map. And HKS has to fucking watch out for this Frenchman here. Ironically, if Ricky actually went the Archmage in this game, we probably would have been not too bad off, but I still don't think we wouldn't have had an easy time. I don't know what Q does in this. Q does something really bizarre in this game. He actually might be a support. Ricky is unbelievably thirsty. Now, the Tinker can just blow up and deny his death, too, so... Oh! Oh! Just got anchored. So, the main goal for the Illidan build was eventually to kill the Urdle, but... yeah. The secondary goal was to attempt to kill the camps. There is a problem, though. The Serpent Wards are level 1, and they do 0 damage, and I can't tank. So basically, it's about cutting them around, tickling them with Acid Bomb, bringing them into the trees that now are starting to deal... Okay, never mind. That was the dude that was selected. I think they have breakpoints like every 5 levels or something, but... Still, though, it's an amount of damage, so... As you can see, it is effective, if not very, very slow. So you can just like take pigs or bears or something and do that a little bit more easily early on, but I was Illidan. And I'm blind, not deaf. So the trees were gonna see for me. Or something. I'm still not honestly really sure where the trees come in, but I'll just assume that because it was balanced by Axe, he knew what he was doing. That could be a foolish assumption. So, kind of looks like Stake is... Oh, yeah, Stake is going like a melee lifesteal build. And High Zealot may be doing something very similar. So that's basically like the last thing you want them to be doing against a build like this, because wards and trees are going to do 0 damage to them after the late stages of the game. They're going to out-sustain everything. They're going to one-shot all the minions. And you're going to have no ability to stop them from one-shotting your wards and trees. So, you basically just don't want to be anywhere near them because you're probably going to die. But, if I played my cards right, I felt like I could just keep all the camps on cooldown. And, just, like, play the late game and then force them out that way, but... That's where the melee characters shine the most, is when they've actually got their items. So, I typically don't pay too much attention to what builds people are going. Which, I mean, there really wasn't anything I would have changed, but... It probably would have given me a hint earlier on that it was an incredibly stupid idea that was not likely going to work at all. Don't forget your treats. Dude, Ricky, they can't move! They're anchored in place. They're trees, for God's sakes. Trees don't move.
That's why they throw arrows. You ever seen a tree throw an arrow before? It's literally ripping its branches off, fashioning them into an arrow, and then throwing them at you. That's what the Zoomers call metal. Ricky almost dies to the turtles. Just to steal a turtle kill from me, the piece of shit. Ah, the enemy team is killing the map. Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. Alright, so Q's got a bird build. A bird healing build with True Shot armor. It's okay, in a later game he actually goes an Unholy Frenzy bird build. And I think it may have killed Ricky once. So I have arrived, and HKS is fighting a losing game against the Trees of Power. He can kill them with auto attack, but they can kill him too. Ooh, got him. Got him. I do not know why he has Immolation Aura. This is a meme game. Man's got a fucking sofa on his back. He's got the scent. He's on the prowl. He hears the call of the wild. Well, Q's got Devotion Aura. He may be the only person on our team who does not die, like, instantly. Meanwhile, now Thigh Lolly sticks his head over here. He gets the shit beat out of him. Oh my god, a bird. A bird has arrived. It's here to shit all over everything, just like the pigeons in fucking New York and in fucking Tokyo. The wall of pigeons covering every orifice a pigeon could possibly sit on. The tree is just doused, stem to stern, in white, sticky pigeon shit. What can Tha Loli but do? But moo at the sun in frustration, go home. And what can I do but sit here and wait for enemies to come to me and die upon my wall of trees? Yoink. So we're doing pretty good right now. They have cleared some of the camps, but I think we're well and truly ahead of them at the moment. It's not a big deal right now, but it will give us a little bit of pushing power, which means we can do some counter jungling. I came down here to probe and see what kind of damage I'm going to need to kill this Erdl, because it seemed like High Zealot was well capable of killing it before we were fighting it. But it was obvious I was probably going to need higher Serpent levels than level 3. So I'll leave it to its devices and set my eyes upon their posterior as our turtles march henceforth. HKS has acquired spiked armor, immolation, and lightning shields. He was just trying some of the shit that nobody ever buys, I guess. He almost dies to the turtles, though. Ricky does not tank for the ward, so they just fucking kill it, putting all my mana out of business. I try to drag them over to Ricky, as if to give him an idea that he should do something useful, but he is very, very reluctant. Meanwhile, Stake comes over here to tank all the minions and creates Weasel Slash, and then HKS dies. So far, so good. The enemies are killing themselves, and we're killing the jungle. It's really about the best you could have hoped for in this situation. Never mind the fact that their cow is over here doing cow shit. Oh, yoink. How does it feel, Ricky Honajase? Kill secured, bitch! There's no way that this goes well. Oh shit, dude, I have the Horde of Cenarius. I don't even know where I got that from. I think I bought it because I wanted the health regeneration, actually. Ricky Honajase is in a dire spot, and he might die. It's okay, he leveled. Oh my god, they do a lot of damage. It's okay, one of them died, so I can create it, and it's dead. Well, I don't know what Ricky is doing. He's dying terribly. Ricky is a defeatist. Not even going to offer moral support. So, unfortunately, the counter jungling comes to an end. Thought Loli found some footmen to abuse. Always going after the smaller people. MH my head. Meanwhile, there is a bird. Level 2 bird, diligently tickling a turtle. I don't think it's going to have enough time left to kill it. TGS comes down here and sits on my deformed children. Absolutely degenerate. These camps get forgotten about a lot because most people who go to top lane go there to kill Ricky, and that's pretty much about it. Doesn't matter which team they're on. So our jungling is doing actually pretty well. Let's check our upgrades. 1-to-1 to... They just got 1-to-1, so we're a little ahead. If you keep up this momentum, you can spike really hard at some point where the upgrades will shoot to +6. And then your pushes at that point, if you're that far ahead, just become impossible to really deal with. Especially if you're constantly cycling the camps on top of it. Because not too many people go caster anymore. Weasel Slash! There are a few animals out there that command power and respect as much as the almighty weasel. Sometimes I think they're just called a weasel because that's what an orc's penis looks like. Complete with the flip-flop war dance that they do. So my next attempt was underway, but I had no mana. And that was going to be an issue. Also, acid bomb is a requirement for this. But I realized I didn't have the mana for it. It wasn't going to work. Too early. Sad. Sad times. There wasn't going to be as many good opportunities as that. Meanwhile, the opposing team is coming down to the Hydras to find that for some reason one of them is dead. And they'll easily kill these. No problem there. I'm forced to abandon the Urdle as it spins around aggressively in its prison. I picked up another Serpent upgrade and decided to go north because I had eyes on our Hydras, I believe. The Serpent Ward Treant combo does not do too well against the actual minion wave because later on in the game, there are just too many of them and they're too tanky. But at this stage in the game, they can help a little bit. It's just there's no point in me being in the lane because I can't fight any heroes. So this is one of those rare jungling builds you hear about in that one Dota clone. Jungle Singed. That's effectively what I am. Functions very similarly too. You need people to be stupid enough to chase you. Q-Tip Menace has arrived. Our clear of the Hydras is not quite as convincing as theirs, but clear it we eventually do. Now both of our Hydras will spawn. Well, theirs are already up, but it's not too big of a deal at the moment. Looks like the gank squad is en route. We will assuredly stomp on HKS's balls. I think he caught sight of us. Or he saw that everything here was dead and decided not to go in. Steak has less than half health. I have arrived to unleash my damage. And Steak promptly disperses. Oh. Oh, Ricky got him. The HKS has arrived. But he didn't get a blow up, he just died. The trees got him. The Hydras are dispersed and dealt with. So now we'll get to see how my build actually fares with the minions. Not very well. Something has to tank for them, and I am definitely not a tank. I did get a bong. It doesn't help any of my stuff, but it might help the acid bomb damage, I'm not sure. I really just have it for the mana regeneration, and because in the future I'll probably need some kind of damage or healing spell. Getting a mask might have been better though, because Yeah, I think the mana regeneration is a bigger issue for me at the moment. Especially if it comes to actually killing like the Urdle like I want. Mana regeneration is the big limiter on that. So we're definitely doing some damage to the Urdle here. But I discover I actually need vision on it. Right now, that is the Saffron. And I'm doing damage, but I'm still lacking, I think it's maybe Acid Bomb levels, or 1 or 2 Serpent Lord levels. Plus, I can't put trees here. I realized the dragon was just on follow, and yeah, I needed it to go in there. So I am killing it, but not very quickly. Also, the wards can slow the Urdle. There we are, now the dragon's in on it. It's not much, but it does help. We are killing it. Meanwhile, High Zealot was killing the small turtles. And I think that Saffron had sight on this, which meant that the Urdle was going to despawn. And that was a darn shame. I was really mad. Unfortunately, I literally do nothing besides throw Acid Bomb. That's it. That's my sole contributing factor to this kind of a fight. So, it was just a tremendous waste of my time. Meanwhile, Ricky is building towers. That's something we're all definitely quite familiar with, I'm sure. Well, it sucks we weren't able to kill the Urdle. They still have 2 Hydras over here for some reason. I'm not sure how they have 2 Hydras. Maybe they well, the Horde have a really stupid thing where the Turin mages can actually resurrect those units, even though they shouldn't be able to. I'm not sure if that's what happened here, though, but they should not have 2 Elder Hydras over here, because I'm pretty sure they were part of the last wave that died a while ago, and theirs are up now, so HKS is aggressively massaging the mortar teams. Well, they took out their beef men over there. Map is kind of slowed down a little bit. Nothing major going on, just creeping back and forth. The enemy team is slowly getting the advantage now.
Our forces are under attack.
Nothing really decisive at the moment, but if I can't like kill Urdles and put a lot of pressure on them right away, then we'd lose by default, basically. And my mana issues were such a problem. I actually buy a pen and a mana. Because, I mean, if I want to clear a wave, it costs, like, more than my entire mana pool. As does each minion camp. Summons are definitely better for this. This just offers kind of a bit of security where if someone tries to jump you in the middle of creeping, you might be able to kill them before you die, but it's kind of a risk. So, just clearing these out. Getting some money in the process isn't necessarily bad. But when I see that they have these minions here, I realize they're already clearing out the other ones. That does give me the opportunity to kind of try to counter-gank them, because if they're low, then they basically have to die, because they run into the wars and get murdered. I made a tree. Tree gets the kill. And Thalali's dead. LOL. I got one turtle out of it. But I still can't easily deal with the Hydras. Ricky has arrived. It does have a cat's paw. I think Ricky might have Bash, actually. So we clear this out pretty quickly. Level 8 wards now. Not amazing, but it definitely helps. Meanwhile, there was a pigeon. They don't really have too many minions over here, so they might get this tower, and that's really about it. I like that they tried the Scroll of Speed. Unfortunately, they deal very little damage. They do have slow. Tried to heal himself. HKS died. Steak died. Yeah, HKS came down here and just like got murdered. Almost every single person on their team is dead, except for Thou Loli, for silly reasons. I didn't even know that was going on inside of our base at the time. Just slowly slapping Q to death. So, I maxed out Serpent War. This is pretty much a go for getting rid of the Urdle. And Thou Loli appears, but he doesn't actually have Soul Burn this time. If he did, Ricky would have died. Instead, he impotently throws an Infernal over there. And Ricky slithers away back into his bagel hole. Never to be seen until the next full moon. So this is definitely the point where I want to kill the Urdle. It's like, I should have well more than enough power now. I have the Pendant of Mana. I just need the waves to be shoved out so we can deal with it. Meanwhile, Thou Loli is getting murdered. He should grab all the shekels and be on his merry way. But I've realized there's a problem. How do I kill the Urdle if I can't see it? And then the Urdle kind of shows itself there, so that kind of works. But the minions are getting themselves killed south of the Urdle again. This time on our minions. And those are a bunch of Revenant of the Seas and shit, they're gonna die to the minions eventually anyways. Meanwhile, like, High Zealot came down here and died. But I can't get sight on the Urdle. And I think what was happening before is the debuff that High Zealot put on it from the Naga Siren would reveal it. And since I can't see it, I can't kill it. And since I can't kill it, the entire plan's a fucking disaster. So, what I need is a Zeppelin. Now Steak's gonna murder everything over here. Most people at this point should know about my Zeppelin shenanigans. But to be fair with you, I don't think I have done too much Zeppelin shenanigans with the casted videos. You will see some Zeppelin shenanigans in this game, that's for sure. So I've realized at that point that Steak killed the shit, which meant that I can't do anything about the Urdle. He's trying to weasel slash the fucking Zeppelin. Ricky Honajasse has arrived. What better a man to do? Yeah. And then he's murdered. So yeah, Acid Bomb is actually pretty good against their team because it removes them. Oh, I wanted to kill Ricky too. But unfortunately, Ricky is too fast. Just chasing Ricky across the map. It would be wiser to go to the bottom of the map at this point and kill the Erdl there, but I think I may have wanted to do top jungle, but none of them are up at the moment. I think I saw there was like 3 of them up there, and I may have just chosen to ignore them. I'm pretty sure there's many cases I just opt to not fight. I can gank people like that, but only if they just like stand in wards. So I think I was going bottom lane. Meanwhile, HKS is possibly going to die to minions again. Oh, Q didn't attack him. He escaped. That's disappointing. So I had to push this wave, otherwise I was going to be attacked by minions while trying to deal with the Erdl. But this build is not really that good for actually soloing the waves. Thankfully, we had some minions here. Meanwhile, in the top lane, this is cleared out. Absolutely booty bonked. And this is all dead, except for some Hydras. Their Hydras and shit are still up. They've just respawned and haven't been touched yet. I imagine that's where some of them are going to go next. Lily has an axe now. HKS died in the middle lane, apparently. Oh man, he got tased by the deformed suns. I guess we haven't really got to see what these actually do. They cast Monsoon, which isn't very good, but my Erdl fiasco is now supported by a Dragonhawk Rider. Legendary haters of Erdls. And I felt like I was not doing that much damage to Erdl compared to what Hazelit was doing in the other game. And it may be due to the debuff or something. Or maybe his... No, my Acid Bomb's level 10. Not sure about that one. Meanwhile, the Horde are trying to clear out these camps unsuccessfully. A priest is helping me deal with the Erdl. I'm funding my whole team as they desperately cry out for help. Impotent as they are. In desperate need of Illidan's, Illidanks. Dank Kush. The Erdl is annihilated. And that doesn't necessarily help me very much, but it's there. You don't really have any presence on the map, so the Erdl just kind of annoys them at the moment. Oh, yeah, it's another Infernal that went over there somewhere. And my lack of mana regeneration at this point basically cripples me, so I can't do too much of anything. It's okay though, I have the Horn of Cenarius. There's nothing more that Illidan wants than to suck Cenarius' long, crooked dong. That's why I detached it, petrified it, and suck on it on a daily basis. Keeps my thighs sharp. Look at the level difference, holy shit. 15 to 19, halfway to 20. Thaloli has encountered wards and is subsequently annihilated. That gives me level 20. I'm not sure why he's even worth experience. Stake has attempted to backdoor me and instead has been annihilated. Illidan stands supreme atop a mountain of carcasses and crooked Cenarius penises. Meanwhile, Ricky is squirming and flailing aggressively. And I almost died. If it wasn't for the stuns, he would have died. So, at this point, I'm basically a god. Everybody is walking into my wards and killing themselves. They're chasing Singe through the jungle as he cackles. Meanwhile, my trees deal like 72 top end. But I have a problem. The Orc Warlocks just arbitrarily kill every ward that enters their range. So I actually cannot attack their base at all. There's no point even trying. Even if there's no players there, there's no point in me doing anything. So I'm going to head down and start counter-juggling some more. I kind of was hoping the Urdle would show up at that point and help me push that bottom lane. And maybe even get some buildings. But there is no Urdle, so I go on to the next best thing. Losing all my wards to the jungle stalkers I was killing at the beginning of the game. Unfortunately, facts haven't changed that I literally don't do fucking anything. So, I have to spend all my mana trying to kill these pieces of shit. Something like that. Q has arrived. And meanwhile, in the top lane, some Hydras are here, but they died. They still haven't cleared their base yet. Ours died, so I'm not sure why they have the Hydras, honestly. Wouldn't it be funny if they were reviving our Hydras? I'm honestly not really sure. Maybe someone's charming them. You might be able to charm the Hydras, I'm not sure. That'd be really stupid. But there's a lot of jank shit going on with the game. Ricky is attempting to stack Berserk and Chemical Rage, but I don't know if they actually stack or not. So I'm gonna drag the Death Wanger and these other dudes into here. They might stun me, but they don't do anything, so I'm not really in any danger of dying, honestly. So I collect my minimum wage. I even buy God Orb because I don't foresee going to the other camps for a long time, and 40% of attack speed that does 0 damage is certainly better than 0 damage, right? Meanwhile, Q's over here with the Urdle, so I figure, hey, I may as well go help that out. The dragon died. Ricky Honajase has cleaving attack. And we're actually in a pretty good spot, all things considered. We've even got some jungle stalkers over there. And some sea turtles. So, once the warlocks and shit start dying, I can attempt to spawn wards, but as you can see, until they die, I really can't do anything. But once they die, suddenly I can play the game. Spawning shit. Oh my god. It's Big Bad Voodoo. Yeah, Q's gotten some mileage out of that. The radius of it is pretty high in high levels, so this is only level 2 and it's going out pretty far. So that's 2 buildings down. Ricky is not over here. He is dying in the middle lane right now, kind of pointlessly, but we're doing okay for the moment. Three buildings down. Since there's Cloud on that tower, it's being ignored in a moment. Oh my god. The dragon dies a disgusting death to trees. Thought Lili's gonna die disgusting death to trees. They have auras, but they don't really have gear yet. So they're not quite at the point they can actually deal with me. Also, I'm way higher level than them. Unfortunately, the minions kill all the wards, so I'm gonna die. I forgot about the Zeppelin. I can escape that by just getting sucked up in the Zeppelin, but I forgot. And I realized I forgot, and I felt like a dummy. I don't often use the Zeppelin anymore. Oh, 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 oh. I think he was hoping that word was gonna go off, but Ricky was not quite close enough. Weasel Slash! So our upgrades are Still not really any different than theirs. Stake can out-sustain all the creep damage now, even though he doesn't have an axe. The stun isn't enough to kill him because of the insanely high armor. Yeah, he does have charm. Maybe he's been charming the Hydras. It would explain the random Hydras that don't belong to us when they haven't cleared theirs. They haven't cleared the top yet. So they go up there. I've come back. I'm just tapping through all the abilities, seeing what I have. We did some good damage. They haven't repaired the bottom yet. And I'm replacing some abilities with something.
Our allied town is under siege.
Did I replace Acid Bomb? I don't know. Maybe I did. I wanted armor reduction, other armor reduction. I may have replaced something else. I'm not sure. Stake came down here and died. Q has no juice. HKS is getting machine gunned down by Storm Reaver Warlocks. He could run. He could hide. Loli attempts to be useful. Q just has to like run around in a circle, but he doesn't. He just stands there and tanks it. Honestly, this would be a good time to go after the Hurdle again, but I think I may have wanted to shop. And the Hydras are still a good safe choice. I don't know if I can actually solo them, though. I don't think so. I mean, if I can't solo them now, I'm probably never going to be able to, because I don't... At this point, I just scale off hard. I only get weaker from this point out in the game, as they gain levels and my damage stays static for the rest of it. And it still doesn't feel like I'm really that strong with the creeps. Like, it's just... You can't tank him, so... Maybe an axe, but probably getting the mask is the best choice at this point. Just to keep cycling shit. Here's the question, though. Can I actually kill the Hydras? High Zealot is down here, but he's just auras. So it's not too big of a deal at the moment. They've replaced some of their structures here, so their gold's not doing too well at the moment. Getting the Hydras caught up on each other, so they're standing in there, just dancing around in circles so that they stay in range and don't reset as much. Get a good acid bomb off in there, but they dispel most of it. Frost armor and dispel, I think, was removed from them, or at least purge was removed from them, or at least the lower level ones in a newer version. But it's kind of working out. I got most of them down. I almost died for it. But yeah, the little ones are gonna kill my shit. Meanwhile, the battle wages on. And the Hydra ate my tree. Honestly shocked that doesn't crash. Probably because they're not based on the building. So I bought a head barrel and another bomb. Kind of surprised I didn't grab a Didn't grab a mask. I might have actually been thinking of dropping the wards and taking something else. But I was getting Unholy Aura. I was pretty invested into it at this point. Charm one of the small hydras. Well, I may have had my eyes on another Urdle at this point. They still haven't replaced their bear axe yet. The Zeppelin is en route. I need it for vision. Meanwhile, we're both going to have pushes coming up top. Riggy encounters stake. Riggy gets some good stuns off. He's gotten a couple off, but not enough. Meanwhile, the Urdle is getting tickled. Alright, I got Unholy Aura to help shred the Urdle's armor. Faster Urdle destruction. Weasel Slash! Got that blast staff blasting with piss. I have no idea what HKS is doing in this. Something really bizarre. He's even got searing arrows now. I think he may have given up on the immolation thing. He does have Devotion Aura, which, with spiked armor, gives him just an utterly absurd amount of damage reduction. High Zealot has arrived. He does have a head barrel. I was trying to push this wave into their base, but it's kind of hard when you literally don't do anything. You mind controlled a tree! That's disgusting. Why would you even do such a thing? Yeah, it's quite clear I needed a mask instead of another bong. The mana regeneration is just so bad I can't do anything. When I should be throwing acid bomb all over the place on top of that. That said, we do manage to push this out. Still got some upgraded minions here. However, we are still the same on upgrades. That is a High Zealot marksman, not one of ours. He has stolen it, the scoundrel. Slurped up all the shekels. Got a little bit of a push coming in the middle, too. The top pretty much all evaporated. And they still have a Hydra over here for some reason. Now, those Warlocks don't repop, so I can't come over here and drop shit inside their base for what little it offers. Even the Headhunter takes a while to kill. Stake has arrived, and I'm gone. Now, as you can see, the problem is that even though High Zealot has no damage items, he can pretty much tank the Urdle indefinitely. The Urdle is dealing like 50 damage to him. Maybe. It does nothing. And he has nothing. He has no damage at all, so his sustain is garbage, really. But the Urdle's damage is just reduced so much it doesn't matter. So that push just evaporates immediately. And so at this point, there's not even much point in even me killing the Urdle anymore because it is easily killed. Kind of like HKS was just murdered by a Frenchman. So at this point, I realize I can't actually clear half the camps anymore either. So I'm not sure what I'm selling a lot. I was debating what to do because I'm fucking worthless. Might have been looking for mass teleport, I'm not sure. That said, that middle push is doing some damage. These guys are all melee, unfortunately, but... Oh yeah, I had hurl bowler just for stake, but I realized it really wasn't going to work too well. And I picked up landmines. It really is outscaled at this point in the game, but it hypothetically could deal some damage and help the wards kill someone who's chasing me. So this dies. The barrack survives. Q's trying to keep the minions cycled at this point. Alright, there's mass teleport. You can see how I was maneuvering my Zeppelin around. I guess I had intended to go to the top lane. I stopped and then dropped mines and stake ran and he could have just killed me. Now it'll be a little harder though. Yeah, so the landmine hotkey actually conflicts with one of my abilities, and it might have been wards. So casting it in both cases was actually unintentional. Now, while the damage from the landmines is not very high, you can't have a lot of them. They do help you with vision a little bit. They can get some creep damage in. It's nothing amazing, but it was better than Hurl Boulder for me. Now, Q is gonna get spanked. Actually, they could have probably fought this, to be honest. Nope. Ricky's gonna get fucked. Ricky got fucked. Ah, Ricky died. I actually could have chased him. I definitely could have fought him. He doesn't do anything. The bomb's gonna kill him. He just gave him HIV and spun around like a retard until he died. This build is pretty impotent. Yet somehow I'm pretty sure, yep, I have a far above and beyond the highest kills in the game. Just from people running into wards and killing themselves. And I think the wards used to deal, what, like way more damage than that, and AoE. Man. But like the second stake like gets like a tanky item or a little bit more armor or whatever, it's unless I put like acid bomb on him, then he's just gonna be impossible to kill, especially before he kills me. You need so much setup for that. Meanwhile, everybody else kills the minions way faster than I do now. And Ricky just erased the Erdl when I was trying to set up for it. Yeah, that was supposed to be a word. So at this point, my usefulness in the game is pretty low. I actually ended up selling the mana pendant. I'm gonna have to sell Sarnarius' bone at some point too. Steak is like, oh my god, woo! Well, his bulge definitely got noticed. And Infernal appears and then dies. There's the acid bomb. And now he's in trouble. You better run or he's gonna die. Sadly, it doesn't actually do that much damage. I'm not sure it actually benefits from the intelligence bonus or not. If it does, it's not much. Not that I really have a huge bonus. HKS has arrived. HKS also enjoys some HIV and gets tickled by words. And then our Hydra goes over there somewhere. Spin. Alright. Meanwhile, there's just mines all over the place and Chuckles all over the place. So, over here we have the problem again where I can't really do anything and we don't have a push anymore. Just a wounded Hydra that's just gonna die in like 5 seconds. Meanwhile, Steak murdered Q somewhere. Where are they? I'm looking at the minimap for them and I have no idea where they were. Ah, they were inside their base. I see. I have a really, really hard time seeing their icons on the minimap. Yeah, they were just pushing in here. Well, that wave has appeared there. They did some damage here with the turtles. There's not really too much I could have done at that point. I couldn't have really cut through their base. I could have used the Zeppelin, I guess, but I was hoping to put in some split pressure. Just unfortunately, they just happen to have Hydras and shit spawn up here. But it's not terrible. We can still kind of sit here, kill all of them, and then just keep pushing. While the middle keeps pushing. It's just I'm Illidan that spawns wards. There's not really a lot I can do. Now at this point, you realize you are just Illidan that spawns wards. And they still have 30,000 Hydras. What can a man do but toss fucking acid bomb on them? Ricky arrives in the middle lane. The push is on. They're building just repop, just in time to get murdered. This game is actually looking pretty solid for us. I'm not really like able to contribute to the siege, so I'm just kind of like doing my own thing. And there's still a lot of turtles over here. And Ricky is even giving them Vampiric Aura. And Ricky is actually full build. I think I've been feeding Ricky a lot of my money. And I think I gave Q a lot of money too. So yeah, they're definitely against the wall at the moment. Then again, they are kind of like going sort of mean builds. I mean, High Zealot still only has 2 barrels. That said, Ricky almost died to Steak. Steak's like the only one who's not a meme at the moment. He's trying his real darndest.
Our forces are under attack.
And Ricky just about dies. He's just waiting for a blink dagger. Oh, no, my God. Oh, my God. Meanwhile, apparently they're killing the Earl over here. HKS finally doesn't have damage that he can attack it and slowly kill it. Now, their base is on fire. I think I saw what HKS was doing over here. And I was trying to figure out how I could fuck with this. But the minions were killing. And I was like, I might be able to snipe the Earl before the minions actually finish that off, but then it spawned a bunch of mines instead of making the ward, and that consumed all my mana. So here we were, fighting for the shit, and then the minions came down. And they were trying to murder me, but then they were murdering themselves. I don't even know how HKS even has vision on this. I really struggled to get vision on this. He doesn't have any air units over here. And yeah, all the other minions are getting themselves killed. But there's still a chance. Oh, he has Incinerate. Oh, it tickles. Now HKS has so much armor that I literally can't fight him anymore, so I just have to leave. Armor bomb, acid bomb rather, doesn't do anything to him. He still has 23 armor. That's with acid bomb and the aura. That said, he doesn't sustain, so hypothetically I can tickle him. Ricky appeared. Ricky has no idea that HKS is down there somewhere and goes after High Zealot instead. Meanwhile, I just get sucked up in my Zealot and I'm gone. High Zealot's actually in trouble. High Zealot. Oh, Ricky. You got this. Get him. Oh my God. I'm allergic to that. There's still a mine over there. The footman migrates north. And Q is prickly and tries to slap some crabs very slowly. This game was absolutely unhinged. And I was still just Illidan who made wards. Ricky has arrived and encountered Thaloli who... Well, an effort was made. Gotta give him credit. I mean, he made an effort. He even got a mask because he has to make an effort so many times. HKS escapes. Acid bomb applied. Memes engaged. Trees summoned. Plus 37 damage. That's the Diablo 3 number. And the Diablo 4 number, actually. I think Diablo 4 is also well known for Error 37, if anybody actually played Diablo 4 anyways. I think maybe one guy played it. And then he probably went back to Diablo 2. HKS streamed some of it to me and it was just utterly, thoroughly embarrassing. I have arrived. I found High Zealot and created some mines instead of making a ward like I wanted because hotkey configurations in this game are really... Oh, God, no. I don't want any part of that. He does like no damage to me, but I do even less damage to him. But the minions are biting him. As long as I sat back, played my cards well, and HKS like fell asleep or something, there stood a chance to kill him. That's all I need is a chance. The power of meme magic only needs a chance. Meanwhile, apparently Stake was cashing in and Infernal landed over there somewhere. Keeping in mind, I was still just Illidan who made wards. Thought Loli was becoming well acquainted with wards and mines. A Ricky Honajase has appeared. A cute menace has appeared. My Zeppelin was on fire. Sucking up all those coins. I think I may have forgotten I was using a Horn of Cenarius and could have probably replaced that a very long time ago, seeing as I was sitting in 17,000 gold. But that would have required paying attention, and I'm Illidan that spawns wards, and Ricky's gonna die. Oh my god, that save! That save! Man. Q owes, or Ricky owes Q a blowy for that one. Holy shit. Gotta show him the scaly love. HKS is getting shot. It's okay, I'm Illidan that spawns wards. He doesn't have to worry about me very much. Oh no! Or does he? Oh. He's fine. There's an Infernal over there somewhere. We accomplish absolutely nothing because I am Illidan that spawns wards. Meanwhile, Stake is down here being a pest. Yeah, and then Stake died. We just came down here and collectively wiped our asses with him one after the other. Let's see here. Let's take a look at those upgrades. We are ahead on upgrades. They have not been able to police the camps quite as much in this game. Hasn't amounted to anything yet, but we have been getting steady pressure on them. And they don't actually have that much wave clear, so... This is in part because High Zealot is just auras and health. He can tank stuff like the Earl, but he can't actually clear waves very fast, and HKS is kind of the same way. And as useless as I am, I still contribute a little bit more wave clearing to them. I give him some aids. Ricky came over here and just died to the group of them. Because Ricky. I really did never replace the Horn of Cenarius. I suckled onto its gentle juices until the very end. Apparently I killed these dudes though. And we don't have any stuck over here for once. Actually, people have been neglecting the bottom lanes quite a lot in this game. I think the allure of Ricky has just kept people in one spot for a very long time. And I was going to come down here and there was just nothing down here. Maybe I'm actually going to replace that item now. It would be very wise to get a mask. I got a goddamn helm. What the fuck? Replace the blast staff at least. Holy shit. What the fuck was that? And this may have been one of those games I was like just blackout tired. And just was not at all paying attention. I have no idea what I was doing at all. I certainly don't need the blast staff. HKS is in a hole. Instead of spawning a ward, I made mines. It's okay, it's working out. I'm made out of beef. You like that? Yeah, get a load of these nuts. HKS is dying to AIDS. There's a ward. Check it out. Oh my god, the Hydra got sucked up. The sofa was too charming. Yeah, get a load of these nuts. The aura just makes them kill my wards instantly. What an utter disgrace. Oh my god, Stake has appeared. I don't do anything because I'm Illidan that spawns wards. Bye. He wants it, but he can't have it. The crabs are angry. Q is playing defense for the Zeppelin. Ricky has arrived. The Zeppelin has 26 health. It's seen better days. Ricky is a fucking crab. We're gonna murder this Murloc. No one has any idea that Steakapunang has casted Weasel Slash. Weasel Slash. And he's gonna die. Ah, man. Destroyed by a Frenchman. I go back to my peaceful ways of harassing the minions. And HKS. Here, have acid that doesn't do too much. He kind of just ignores me, though, so I kind of just, like, chill out there for a while. Oh, the nerve! Oh, the nerve! He is making a terrible mistake chasing me, though. He was just so upset by the disgrace, the insult, the nerve. I just literally like walked up and aggressively defecated on his doorstep and walked away. He couldn't take that shit. No man could take that shit. He had to make a point, but then he just walked out of his doorstep and stepped into even more shit. Oh my god, the trees await. The power of the bears, the birds, and the trees unite. And Ricky has to like swerve around them in his fucking golf cart to get to the golf course. It costs like 3 mana pools for me to even do a dent to the waves. I arrive and pretend like I'm useful. Look at me, I'm Illidan. Check this out. Yeah. They just annihilate the Mayans. My poor children. Oh, it's disgusting. Oh, it's disgraceful. Oh my god, one of them took Big Bad Voodoo. It's just gonna make our minions pile onto their buildings. Oh shit though, but they have turtles. Oh, Steak has arrived. And he walked into the trees! Oh! Smeared across a Frenchman's hairy cheeks. Steak's face will never be the same. Forever itchy. The immortal, unkillable Illidan who makes words. Goblins on suicide watch. Frenchmen frolicking. Turtles eating. Well, the words are instantly murdered. Oh my god. The Murlocs have arrived. HKS is just being a nuisance. I literally don't do anything, and Q literally does nothing, so it's basically all up to Ricky. This is generally the last case you want to be in, but if Ricky's invincible, surely he can do something. Oh my god, Thigh Lolly hit a target. Of course it was a mobile. And he's just fucking dead. He too has been smeared across the Frenchman's ass cheeks. Disgraceful. Yeah, this game is pretty much over. This is actually not how I expected it to end. I was pretty sure we were going to get annihilated in this. But they did kind of go Mimi builds. I think only like Thigh Lolly and Steak were really putting in their all in this one. Probably because they knew it was 4 versus 3. But really, it came down to the creep camps, honestly. Just the constant pressure. Just because they didn't have the wave clear to deal with it on top of it. Even if they were trying seriously, it was just... didn't really matter that so long as I was doing at least some camp clearing. Didn't have to be really optimal. Of course, at this stage in the game, it's just... the mortar teams have 1,000 health from Demolish. It's now at level 5. Look at the damage they do. Then the turtles have 4,000 health. Like, these things are beefy. Ricky dies terribly. LMAO. Well, that was definitely not how I remember that game ending. I know the game of Illidan was very silly, but I ended it with 1 death, maybe 2, 11 kills. Ricky had 8. Steak had the highest with 4. Thought Lily had 1. And Hyzella had 2. And the minion kills were... Thought Lily had the highest. I think he spent the most in lane. Followed by Ricky, who honestly should have had more than him with cleaving attack and everything. Steak, and then I actually probably would have had... I don't know, that probably counts the neutral camps. They consume a lot of time to kill, though, so... However, I produced 940 units. That was well past what Ricky produced. Being a hero that spawns units, of course. And Steak had 30 weasel slashes. That's a hell of a lot of weasels. And to the very bitter end, I never got rid of that blast staff.